The Blue Box program, incidentally, is a financial disaster. The only place it truly is cost effective is in big cities. Northern Ontario, they're opting out of offering Blue Box municipalities. It's a financial, it's crazy. So anyway, I'm rambling on, but I think whether you offer a 1 bag a week, 2 bag a week, continue with this yellow bag program, people are going to recycle. So there's people that are recycling, and there's people that aren't, and there's people that are always going to throw bags of garbage in the ditch. None of that's going to stop. And as far as filling up the landfill, whether they're buying yellow bags now, I agree with what Councillor Olmsted said. If they're not buying yellow bags, it's coming in on a Saturday. And this is kind of maybe step one in a bigger picture that I like to look at is, we can have it someday that none of these bags even make it to our landfill. They're picked up and they go to a private landfill, Moose Creek. They'll take our garbage, of course, for a fee. But our contractor that we have right now, they're taking garbage to Moose Creek. There's no reason we can't arrange to have them, everything that's picked up, it doesn't even come to our site. If you want to make the landfill last longer, but, we're lucky we still have one, but municipalities that don't have a landfill, they have no choice. Their garbage is going to a private landfill. So, there's options. You don't have to. But this is very timely because I have to purchase bags very soon.
Okay, I'm going to go to Reeve Miller for his comments.
Oh, just like clarification, you said how many pickups? 38?
In our contract,
yes.
Our contract is for 3,128 stops.
So 3,100. I suppose if you took off the portion of those stops, like if we could identify how many of them utilize, how many don't, if you took off that portion, do you feel that the tipping fees would cover appropriately what the $3 bike brings in? That'd be my first question. Like we're dividing the 3,100 up. Like we're not saying there's 3,100 people using the yellow bike.
What I'm saying is what I've suggested is that in the contract there's 3,100 stops.
Yeah.
Whether they use it or not, the contract is for 3,100 stops.
I realize that.
Every week. So if every stop put out 1 bag,
yeah,
and there's no limit to what they can put out. They can put out 5 if they want right now. But if every stop put out 1 bag every week, you'd have 3,128 bags.
Exactly.
Every year we're averaging about 850 bags a week instead of 3,128. So what that tells me is our system is really, it's being utilized by 27%.
That's where that number came from.
That's where I'm looking at it.
Yeah, so when we're calculating the use of these bags per person, we should be dividing it out by 800 and some rather than the 3,100. Is that correct? As I state, I get what you're saying.
Like,
I mean, not very many people could pull off what Mayor Johnson is doing, 1 in 5, if you work that math a little different. Break it down. I don't know how we could ever do it, but just for interest's sake. But the question, and you don't have to give me an answer, you haven't studied it, Steve, it's no problem. The question for me is, if it were possible to divide out the 2 services, would the tipping fees balance something close to what the 27% brought in at $3 a bag?
But see, there's no tipping fee though, because this
so much a cubic foot.
That's got nothing to do with curbside collection. All of our bags picked up curbside, it's paid for $3.
I realize that, but the point I'm making is the ones that don't utilize the service don't pay the $3.
They do. they'll pay a $3, but
At the dump.
at the landfill.
Exactly, that's what I mean, and so it's the same rate is what I'm asking. It's all by cubic feet, and one would be as economical to do as the other. Is that correct to say that?
I'd have to crunch some numbers.
I'm gonna go to Chris. Chris, okay, Charlene?
I think I know where Reeve Miller is going at, and I agree. You would have to take the revenue that you generate from the tipping fees less commercial sort of thing. If you backed out commercial, and that would be very difficult to do, I know. But on average, how many commercial revenues would you get per week? And then look at your revenues, what you would gain by that. And then divide that by the number of stops, rather than just the cost of the pickup, because you're going to lose. I agree, you would lose that revenue, and that also goes to the maintenance and management of the waste site, which you also have to take into consideration a percentage of it. When I simply did the math before, now realizing Laurentian Valley doesn't have a waste site to maintain. There are some other management that we have for waste management with regards to recycling, but it's shared by an overall cost of 5 municipalities, so it's a little different. But you'd have to take the revenue that's generated plus the revenue generated.
My budget every year, like I said, is in the $600,000 to $700,000 range. I take in $184,000 in tipping fees. That includes commercial. Last year, and $130,000 through the sale of bags. So those two revenue sources, sale of bags, tipping fees, is still only paying for about half of my waste management budget.
Right. So then you take $314,000 approximately, divide that by 3,128, and you get $100 per year divided by $3 a bag.
That makes more sense.
33 bags for the year.
Sorry, I didn't understand where you're going.
Yeah. Because when...
I think that... Sorry.
Yeah. I think that's where Reeve Miller was trying to go.
Okay, I'm going to go to Chris if you have another comment, but we beat this long piece, and I think it's time to make a decision, so... Chris?
Okay, two quick comments. One is your cubic charge to businesses isn't going to change. That revenue is going to stay constant. So you're not going to lose that $184,000 that you're currently receiving.
That $184,000 also includes the people that come in with bags that don't buy yellow bags.
Right. Okay. And the other side of this that you guys don't see is that the businesses that actually do this do it pretty much as a service to the community. So we sell yellow bags. We have people, so I send people up here to purchase them, to buy them from the township, bring them back, count them out. Sometimes we've been short, sometimes over. They've got to justify, how many we purchased. Somebody will come in and want 20 bags, so we're standing at the counter counting 20 bags out. So I think it's a service that local businesses are willing to provide the township, but I think it's the onus shouldn't be on those businesses because as you guys know, that nobody makes money on the bags, nor should they. It's again, it should be revenue neutral, but that's a side of it I wanted to bring to light that right now there's a lot of onus on businesses to help provide the service.
Okay, I'm going to limit this. Mr. Miller?
Just to expand on what Councillor Olmsted said, I do think, just for the record, unless they've changed it, and I didn't notice it, the businesses do get 25 cents to handle them. Is that still in place?
Yeah, I believe they make a little
bit
of
money. And it's a reality, the 250 bags, we checked it a few years back. We don't look at it anymore. We just chalk up the 25 cents for the shortages now because they could be out anywhere from 6 to 10 bags and never in the business's favor, just for the record.
Okay, I'm going to go to Mayor Johnson once more.
I think we we can do this for a test for a year and start it immediately so you don't have to order bags. I'm thinking that's the recommendation, the feeling of everybody here. Charlene has basically proposed that she could, if we don't have a motion, we could write a motion and get right on with it. Okay, perfect.
I think, do we have to amend this? Because I was going the other way. I was thinking that maybe we should just leave it the way it is because this tipping fee business has come into play. And the two things, I don't want to see us on a shortfall in the environmental service branch because we've gone to this system and the revenue isn't equal. And I'm still worried about the landfill. Maybe I'm wrong. I just think that once we make it 2 bags, well, everybody's going to fill 2 bags. So I would like to, personally, I'd like to leave it the way because Steve is on a crunch because he's either got to buy bags or he doesn't have to buy bags. And I personally would like to see it left the way it is for this year till Steve can give us more information or get those figures and put them together so that we know exactly where we are. But go ahead, Steve.
Just a quick comment. If that revenue that is no longer going to be collected is covered through taxation, I think we're going to be. I think everything's going to be fine. We're going to get the garbage, whether they take it to the landfill, it's coming. I mean,
okay, to answer my question then, you feel confident that we'll have the same amount of revenue coming in to our environmental services department, whether we go to the yellow bags or we put it on taxation at what was the suggested amount? $44, is that right?
No, that was with only just the fees that were collected for yellow garbage bag sales.
Okay.
But if you take into consideration the tipping fees as well, it's $100 per year, 33 bags for the year, $2.75 per month. 2.75 per month of garbage bags. That's what it equals to. So if somebody buys more than 2.75 or 3 bags a month, then they're gaining because they can, and we can reduce it if we're, to 1 bag a week. Maybe you can go back and kind of talk about it, or 2 bags a week, whatever you think. But I think at $100 per year would cover both of the revenue streams.
So what you're saying is, instead of Mayor Johnson, who puts 1 bag out a month, is $9 in 3 months, he's going to end up paying $25. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. And I'm going to say, I just don't know. That's fine. We can, if that's what the wishes are, but instead of people who now have their own budget the way they want to do it, it's going to be mandatory. You're going to get $25 added to your taxes.
$100.
But $25 per quarter.
Well, it's just going to go on and then it will just be divided.
Yeah. It doesn't
there's
really
a
matter.
weight restriction.
50 pounds, isn't it?
Yeah, it's less than that actually.
Is it 35 pounds?
I think it's 20 kilograms.
Anyway, it's 5 to 9, and we beat this to death. So I'll go ahead then and read the motion. Do you want me to read the motion again, or are we happy? Okay. It's been a long time since I've read this. So, okay, be it resolved. I have a motion moved by Kathy Rager, second by Terry Miller. Be it resolved that the Environmental Services Department of the Whitewater Region recommends to Council to consider the notion of substituting the current curbside yellow bag purchase program to 2 bags per week limit with the collection cost recovery through taxation levy.
Can I just ask one more
One-
question? Sorry.
I'll have one more two discussions there, quickly.
I guess, how many garbage bags are left for the yellow bags? How long will that last you? And then implement it, because, or till you get down to a certain level, maybe implement it with some advertising and stuff like that. That's the only thing I would suggest, is that, that this is what we'll look at for the budget, and then maybe do an information sheet out to everybody maybe at tax time.
That is,
Which is June.
yeah, the logistics of it are.
Because you can't implement it right now.
No.
Yeah.
But it won't be far away.
Okay, so maybe you can come back with a policy and figure out a rate, weight, how many bags you recommend, and all of that.
Councillor Rager, do you have a comment, or?
Well, it was just to say, we need an effective date. We need to know when we're going to start this program. That's all.
Can't be until after the council meeting anyway. Yeah, but any of the information.
Well, maybe, Steve, you could bring back a recommendation of when it should come in then at council? Would that sound like a fair, Chris?
I think Steve would need to know, I don't know how many businesses are currently distributing these, but you'd need to know from those businesses how many bags that they're sitting on as well, right?
I think in the end, we probably will be left with a few boxes, but.
Okay, so I'm finished. Then I'm going to call for the vote. All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Okay, I need to do some household work. I need a mover and a seconder to extend the meeting. I have a motion here, moved by Charlene Jackson, second by Dave Mackay. Be it resolved that the committee in council meeting be extended past 9 p.m. All in favor? Why? Okay, I have another motion here, moved by Kathy Rager, second by Terry Miller. The Environmental Services Committee recommend the Environmental Services Department recommends to committee that the current collection location for residents on White Beach Trail and those residents down Yakabuski Road maintained at the intersection of Malloy Road and Yakabuski Road. Steve, do you have any comments?
No. I mean, this
Okay,
really doesn't need to be on the agenda.
No. Well, I'm going to go to Mayor Johnson.
I'm in favor of this at this point, but Steve, because there's quite a few residents down there in the summer, could we direct Bowman's to go down in the spring when there's no problem turning around down there at all, and have that extra garbage picked up there? Could we propose that?
Sure, we could do anything. I just don't want to send a third letter to these people changing this again. I mean, it's just.
Oh, they're adaptable.
Okay, Charlene?
I think the big question is it a maintained road, or is it our township road, or is it not a township road? It is our township road. Why is it called trail then?
It's the end of Malloy, it turns in.
No, I think what she's looking at is White Beach Trail.
Yeah, and it's just enough room on White Beach Trail for a turnaround for our plow.
And White Beach Trail is ours?
No, White Beach is just the turnaround is at the end that we use, so we maintain to that turnaround all the time.
Real quick background. All of these people took their garbage up to the intersection of Dupuy and Malloy. There was a request that be stopped because there's a daycare running there. That's great, so no problem. So it went down to White's Beach Trail. Now, I'm assuming the people down Yakabuski Road put their garbage at White's Beach Trail, because when I sent the first letter, it was Karen over here who told me people live down Yakabuski Road. I didn't know that, so they never got a letter. So it went to White's Beach Trail. Then in December, I got a request from the contractor that could they do it at Yakabuski and Malloy, which is closer for all of them than the original place, Dupuy and Malloy. It's an intersection that serves both roads. Can we put it there so my driver doesn't have to back all the way from White's Beach Trail to Yakabuski Road? I said, sure. Letter number 2 goes out to the residents. Now there's a complaint because a bag was torn open by animals. So here we are.
Okay, I'm going to, I'll go around once more. Go ahead, Shirley.
I would take the suggestion of Steve for staff with regards to keeping where it is, where the last recommendation is. I mean, if we change pickup every time we get an animal tearing into a bag, we'll be changing it forever. And I agree with the recommendation of staff, and I think this should remain at a staff level rather than, because they know best, rather than coming back to council.
Okay, then that's what I'm going to add. I'm going to say everybody's in favor of leaving this then, and I think from now on these things don't need to come to council. I really think they should be handled by staff. So that's a recommendation of mine that I think I should bring forward. We'll talk to the department head, see. So everybody's in favor then? Leave it where it is? Okay, motion's carried. We got one more, or are we done? Oh, heavens. As long as it's as quick as that one, it's not so bad.
This one's in regards to the JP2G Sewer Plant Upgrade Monthly Project Manager Report. Moved by Terry Miller, seconded by Kathy Regier. Be it resolved that the Environmental Services Committee of the Township of Whitewater Region approves the invoice submitted by the Cobden Wastewater Treatment Plant Upgrade Project Managers Report JP2G Consulting in the amount of $3,844.66.
Okay, everybody's heard the motion? Any discussion? If not, I will call for a vote. All in favor? Opposed? Motion's carried. Now we move on to protective services. Is this mine? No. No, I have no idea. No, that's on, yes it is, because I put Chris in there. Oh. Okay. Okay. I thought you would have made that change before.
Darryl, for a little while. Oh, if you want to. We'll just hide it. Do we need one?
No, if you want to discuss the letter that was brought, or I can.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll just, Yeah, no, that's right. Okay, I'll just call the meeting of the Protective Services Committee to order here, and I'm going to let Hope just speak towards the complaints that we have received here. Certainly.
Yes. So we got 2 complaints, written complaints regarding the 911 calling service around this particular area. One was, I believe, on Forsters Falls Road. The other one was, I think, closer to where the Ottawa River is. That when they call the 911 number, it gets bounced to the Quebec 911. And these particular complaints didn't make Quebec 911 seem very helpful, that they were told to call the Ontario 911 number. Well, it's the same number. I don't have a report or anybody from the fire department here to comment. However, from the people that I've talked to and the staff, apparently when you do call 911, the Quebec 911 will transfer you to the Ontario 911, but it does happen to all residents that reside along the Ottawa River for some reason, that it bounces. Yes, correct, it is cell phone, yeah.
It is just cell phone.
So it was brought to our attention, and the CIO decided to put it on the Protective Services Committee for discussion.
Well, I think if I can just, it's unfortunate that we don't have Deputy Mayor or Deputy.
Unfortunately, Wayne was, he's doing something, I believe, a funeral service, and Deputy Chief Mike Moore had gone out to a call on Greenwood Road.
Because I think before we go any further with this, I really think we have to have them here, because they're hopefully the ones who's going to bring us back some information, because this is certainly a serious problem, and I think it's something we have to deal with. And Councillor Jackson?
I think you simply find out from the county, who I believe deals with the 911, or at least they used to deal with the 911, and they may be able to help you. I don't think our fire department is going to be any more helpful than any of our staff with regards to this issue, because it's not our Whitewater region issue. It's an issue that when 911 first came into place, the county was dealing with it. So I think the first call should be perhaps to the county, and they'll direct how things go from there. I think they'll be the best ones to contact. I agree there's an issue, but we have to find out the actual people that can help us, and I don't believe our fire department is going to be able to help us with regards to this, because they get called out by the 911 service, but they have nothing to do with the administration of it.
Mr. Olmsted?
If you read through her letter, she also states in it that on the township website, the only number is 911. So I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't looked on our township website to see what the fire call number is, but she does state in her letter, Whitewater Region website, the only phone number for fire is 911. So I think we have probably a direct number there, do we not? So we should look at our website and make sure that that number is provided on there. And secondly, as technology keeps advancing, I know a lot more people are going away from landlines because of the cost of landlines to homes, whatnot. And a lot of people are relying just on their cell phones, and that is quite a wave that I think probably anybody under 25 now, they don't have home lines anymore. They're all relying on their cell phone lines. So it's something that we should keep watching and advancing, is a cell tower service in our regions. I know Westmeath, the cell reception there, Westmeath and Beachburg, the cell reception is terrible in both those regions. And they both, I think in Westmeath it does bounce off a Quebec line. And in fact, when the World Championships this summer was down the Whitewater region, and they were able to provide cell service and Wi-Fi. They were using a Quebec tower. That's the only way that they were able to provide that service. Everything was bounced off a Quebec tower. So it's something we should keep an eye on going forward and try to provide that service.
Johnson?
I was discussing with Wayne, just quickly what he thought of the letter and what he thought of because they have to have dealt with this before. And his comment was he didn't have a clue what to do about it other than they keep telling him that when you call 911 on a cell phone and you're northeast of Grand Settlement Road, that you have to say 911 Ontario. But nobody has proved that yet. So I agree with Charlene, we're going to have to go right to the root and go right to the 911 system. Also, in regards to Councillor Olmsted, we do have a number for our own 911, like a 433 number or a 432 number where they can phone directly to 911 on a landline. That's possible. I'm pretty sure that they can do that. And maybe for the temporary, that's what we have to have a number advertised. But first we should start with the county, of course. But just wanted to bring up to speed that Wayne really didn't have any idea how to solve it other than we need a tower.
Yeah. I'm going to go to Hope and then Councillor McLaughlin.
So from what I'm hearing, I can certainly talk to the county, find a bit of background, in addition to finding that other direct number that you're speaking of for fire, write a report and bring it back to the next Protective Services Committee that will be scheduled in the future.
Thank you. Darrell?
Well, I think our deputy clerk has answered all my questions and my concerns, because that's what I was going to recommend, that we direct staff to do exactly what she said and deal with it, bring it back, even if it comes back to council. That would be fine too.
Thank you. Okay. So moving forward, the second on the agenda is the OPP January 2016 billing summary report. And I do have a motion here, moved by Darrell McLaughlin, seconded by Charlene Jackson. Be a result that the Protective Services Committee, the Township of Whitewater Region, receives and files the OPP calls for service billing summary report for January 2016. I assume everyone has had a chance to peruse these, and if anyone have any questions or comments, then I'll call for the motion. Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, and I'm sorry, I was following along while trying to search up the whitewaterregion.ca website, and there is no contact on there for a fire number. So that's something I think we should tomorrow get put on there somewhere for emergency contacts or something if we could. Sorry, I didn't mean to back up.
No, that's great. Thank you.
I think it's really important we get that done.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, Hope, we're good with that. Thank you. And then I'm just going to call for the vote on the motion that I just read. All those in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Okay. So now we will be going into closed session now from the Corporate Services Committee, and Councillor Jackson. Thank you. Sure. Quick. Very.